All right, the stage is set. Unbeaten versus unbeaten, the game, Ohio State and Michigan. It's about to go down in Columbus, Ohio, in the shoe. We're going to be there, and I am extremely juiced up to be there and see all of you and to experience the best rivalry, if not just college sports, maybe all of sports in general. Going to be an absolute blast. We've broken this game down quite a bit this week, and for good reason, as it is essentially a playoff game. The stakes are as high as they get between these two. Talked about, the trenches, talked about the X factors, the key battles. Let's take a look at the perimeter. Let's take a look at the aerial attack, because I think for both of these programs, there is some interesting, maybe storylines is the right word. Matchups is also another word you could use, but I think regardless, we have to talk about the importance and the impact of what getting it going through the air could mean for each team. We'll start with Michigan. It's no secret. Young J.J. McCarthy, the young Jedi, Iceman, as Jim Harbaugh likes to call him. This is the biggest spot for him in his young career. High school, college, Little League, like you name it. This is the biggest stage he has ever been on. And Michigan's going to try to run the football. They run the ball around 60% of the time. They do it really effectively, well over 200 yards a game. The offensive line is just beastly. But I have a feeling in this game, when the lights are brightest, with the eyes of the country watching, I think there will be some points where J.J. McCarthy has money on the table, but he has to cash in. He has to be able to say, all right, guys, open downfield, safety's playing up. We got Cornelius Johnson deep in the end zone. I got to make this throw. And they have been so close many a time this entire season. You know it, I know it. I promise you Ohio State knows it. Jim Harbaugh, everybody in that stadium knows that they have been a few inches away from being able to connect on those deep passes. I think with the safeties coming up and how frequently Michigan is going to make it a point to run the football, that's what could be for them the counterpunch, because it's not going to be plan A. Like, I would be very surprised, and I think things would have gone horribly wrong if we see a situation where J.J. McCarthy finishes this day with 40 to 45 pass attempts. Like, you and I both know, that's not who Michigan is. Their identity is run the football, go power, wear you down, allow the weight of their, offensive line and running back room to eventually erode your defense. But Ohio State, I think, is bringing a little bit more in the trenches than maybe Michigan has seen yet this year, outside of Illinois. Illinois actually did a pretty good job when Blake Corum was out of the game, beside the point. But you understand what I'm saying here. There will be a time, just like I said, where J.J. McCarthy has to rise to the occasion and throw that counterpunch to keep the defense honest. It doesn't have to be 4 or 5. I'm talking if you can get 1 to 3. 3 is actually probably even on the high end. 1 to 2, you feel a lot more comfortable dialing that up again, first of all, so you can call that and, sort of check into it if you want to. But also, the defense just has to respect that. Then you don't get those safeties flying up and run support. Then you're able to really block the thing a lot more honestly if you're Michigan's offensive line and the tight ends adding in. Like, there's a lot of other options that come off of being able to go deep. So again, not their identity, that's running the football. But if they can connect on a few deep shots, the entire playbook will start to open up a little bit more. And also, we'd even say this, J.J. McCarthy, for all of the jitters and excitement, and I would imagine some nerves in this game, if you connect on one of those counter punches early, let's say you hit a 30, 40-yard bomb to insert receiver here, Ronnie Bell, Roman Wilson, Cornelius Johnson, heck, maybe it's Schoonmaker over the middle. If you hit one of those early, guess what that does to your mental state? Everything slows down. It's football again. You have a big play under your belt, and you're starting to allow the game to come to you a little bit more. And like I said, that picture mellows out a lot. Quick note, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, we would love to have you here. We are going to be at the game. I would imagine a lot of you will be at the game. Subscribe so we can be synced up and have a good time there, all right? Also, follow me on the social channels at Judy Piquel on Twitter and Instagram. Do a lot of things there that we incorporate here. It's a great method for us to interact and do more of the content, honestly, that you want to see. So let's look at Ohio State and what they're going to do in terms of throwing the football. C.J. Stroud threw for nearly, I believe it was almost 400 yards in this game last year. So we know that they're going to be able to throw the football, or at least they're going to make it a point to throw the football. Now, I think they're a little bit more balanced as they maybe have been in years past coming into this game. Now, the running back room is a little bit beat up, but they run the ball around 54% of the time. So not quite 50-50, but they make it a point to still throw the football deep. Here's what I think this means for Ohio State. If they can just have the pass game available, meaning you don't have Michigan sitting back there on their heels and understanding they're just going to throw the football, I think that means that, A, you ran the football well enough, so the gameplay is going how you like it if you're able to throw the football the way that you want to. Second, this is potentially the most important, Marvin Harrison Jr. might be the best player in this game just from a physicality and freakazoid standpoint. Like, dude, special athletically. He's special hand-eye coordination. If you're able to throw the football, guess what? That means that your best player is able to impact this game. And I cannot stress enough how important that is for Ohio State. In a playoff kind of atmosphere, a playoff kind of game, you want Marvin Harrison Jr. to touch the ball as much as possible. And so for them to be able to throw the football and him to impact the game, obviously that is paramount in terms of importance. Now, on top of that, if they're able to get the pass game going early, I think that means that not only is Marvin Harrison Jr. getting involved, it also means you're going to have guys like Emeka Egbuka getting involved. Maybe Stover gets involved. There's a lot of other prongs to this Ohio State offense that then become a little bit more of a factor in this game. And for C.J. Stroud, I think, like I said it the other day, I think this is C.J. Stroud's game where there has to be a little bit of a takeover mentality. Like from J.J. McCarthy, if you hit a couple deep shots, like great, I think you've done your job. For C.J. Stroud, I think this is the area of the game where he has to bring his A-plus game and then some. You're a potential Heisman Trophy winner. I think you're the favorite right now in Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. Like, a lot is expected of him. And for him to have that caliber of game with the stakes as high as they are, that's how Ohio State, in my opinion, would win this football game. The trenches, I think, are where it all starts, but having something in the trenches and then being able to have those deep shots downfield for both programs is huge, but for Ohio State, I think that's where they can cash in. All right? So, to put a bow on it, for Michigan, if they can do the counterpunch, can keep you even, can play their style of game, but for Ohio State, if they can connect downfield the way that they plan to and want to with all of the talent they have on the outside, especially Marvin Harrison Jr., that could be where they make their real money and this game gets interesting, quick, fast, in a hurry. Could also push the tempo. The entire gameplay changes. Very, very important for Ohio State to be able to throw the football. For Michigan, it's a counterpunch, like we already said. We'll leave it at that. I'm J.D. Pickell. This has been The Hard Count. Appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. This is the People's Show. I do not say that lightly. Every single thing that you know and love about college football, guess what? It happens here every single day. All right? We're going to keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.